live spoiler review for All American Homecoming Season 2. This is for episode 6 called
Free Your Mind.
Free Your Mind. Guys, this was definitely an interesting episode. There was a lot going on in this episode. I'm probably gonna let Andy go first about what she kind of liked about this episode, things that she liked, things that she didn't like. There was a lot of stuff here I really didn't like about this episode. That I was kind of really confused because of the way we were kind of like where our characters were in the last episode to where our characters are now is very weird. It's like, again, this is the problem I've been having with All American, is that our characters will act one way and then out of nowhere the next episode they'll act a totally different way. But Annie, what did you like personally about this episode before I get into things I didn't like and things I did like?
I didn't like how Nico was being really rude to Nate, and I'm glad that Nate took it upon herself to tell Nico that's not working out.
Yeah.
Because Nico just didn't take any of her ideas
that she had for Black History Month.
Yeah, she had for Black History Month.
Because Nico being the head of, I forget, what, I think he's like a vice president or something of, Brixton or something, or he's the leader of a club, or the president of a club, and, I really just didn't, I've not been liking the way Nico has been, treating Nate. I was totally with Keisha, and, I totally have bad vibes about Nico, and also, since it was prior there with Nico, hey, Austin, it was prior, real quick, it was prior where Nico literally broke Nate's heart, and Keisha right away knew that, okay, Nico cannot go back into Nate's life. This just isn't happening. And the fact that Keisha was right, and Keisha wasn't there for the aftermath, or what, Keisha saw was going to happen again, really does suck, because Cam and Keisha were somewhere in this episode. I'm not quite sure where.
We didn't see them.
We didn't see them at all in this episode, so I did feel bad that Keisha wasn't there for what she thought was going to happen.
But we did see Keisha's dad.
We did. Which Keisha and I guess with Amara and Zeke, Zeke wants to tell everybody that they are together, and right away Amara just put that down, and kind of Zeke is kind of in a way came up with with in the next scene we see them kind of oh no, I don't think Keisha would be happy if we did if we did tell everybody that we were together. Because, of the passing of her mother, I think, she'd be upset about us being together. When it's he's only trying to appeal to what how Amara was thinking of okay, oh no, I'm not ready to to tell everybody about this yet, and it kind of tried to get on the same level with her, oh yeah, you're right, we can't tell everybody, when really he wants to let everybody know that they are together, but Amara's not ready to have that conversation. To have a conversation with Marcus of that I am with somebody else, which I feel that's why she really doesn't want it to be out there to everybody, is because it'll hurt Marcus the most after, and she probably doesn't want to send him back, and how he has been how he's recovered from everything that has been going on with him when he was in recovery and stuff. So it's kind of I understand the idea of why she doesn't want to tell everybody, but it's I really feel bad for Zeke. But, going on in this episode also, we have, Simone wanting to join a sorority, which it's this, JR's ex-girlfriend's sorority. I'm not sure what the name of the sorority is, unless you picked it up. Which I thought was cool that she wanted to be a part of a sisterhood. She meets a new kind of upcoming, a freshman to college. She ends up meeting somebody.
I didn't catch her name. Did you catch her name?
I didn't catch her name either, but, there was good vibes there. But then, it was kind of she had bad vibes, Simone, about, the sorority, because the one sorority girl didn't, actually tell her where the meeting was because she didn't want to get in trouble. And she already felt there was already, you call this a sisterhood, but yet everybody's sweating about about turning on everybody already, just trying to get in this sorority. I'm not feeling it. I'm not liking the vibes of how, because she wanted to join a sisterhood, a part of a sorority, because the lack of sisterhood inside the tennis team, with of course 2D being an ass, which I don't mess with 2D at all. I do kind of feel bad for her though, because she didn't make it into the sorority. She didn't get an invite at the end of the episode, like Simone ended up getting an invite. But I thought I didn't like the way JR's ex-girlfriend was acting either. I liked her initially, But like the way she was acting towards Simone, I wasn't liking it. Pretty much, kind of having those like, oh, like kind of like making this sisterhood kind of toxic. She wanted to she wanted to join a sisterhood that wasn't toxic because she already has to deal with the toxicity inside the tennis team with everybody upset because she's doing very well, and she's what, like tennis player of the month or tennis
tennis player of the week.
Yeah, she's tennis player of the week. She's finally on her A game, and she finally got what she wanted to get. That's a really big deal. But all of
for herself.
Yeah, exactly. But all the other teammates were against the fact that she was able to become tennis player of the week. And it just upset me. The only one that was really being nice to her is Thea, which I was like, great, okay, like this is good. We're kind of like fixing things. But what else did you like though? Because I liked that stuff where it was like Thea and Simone kind of like getting back to being friends again. But there was a lot I didn't like, with I didn't like how 2D's been acting. She's been acting the same, but I did kind of feel bad for her at the end. But there's a whole bunch of other crap. There's really one thing I got really upset about, but like we can keep talking. Like, what else did you like about this? Like, what did you think about the JR and Damon stuff? Because that's something I didn't personally like. JR coming out of nowhere, but
I didn't like either. JR was like just like really not like being like a brother to Damon, because Damon got invited to
the KEK house,
the KEK house, and Damon said JR was like, didn't tell him.
Because the KEK brothers of the frat want Damon to join.
But JR said, I want something for myself. We share parents, we share baseball, we share school.
Friends.
School. I just want, friends. I just want something for myself.
Which I thought was bullshit. At the end of the day, I thought that was bullshit. I was like, really? They're making JR out of nowhere be like really jealous of Damon after in the first season he really wanted Damon to be his brother. And when he found out that, oh my God, I'm mad at my I'm mad at my parents because they didn't bring you into the family because of my illness. And the fact of everything was good all in last week's episode, and out of nowhere he wants Damon to like, he wants to show this new kid around because we're getting a whole bunch of freshmen come in from high school into this college. And, they're kind of having, like, they kind of have the same storyline of, like, All-American, where it was, like, Jordan and Spencer, actually, I don't want to spoil anything for people that didn't see it, but you guys know the storyline for, last night's episode with All-American. It's kind of the similar episode where they're trying to recruit new, new upcoming freshmen into college, it's trying to, like, get them, to sign. I'm doing this. But she, pretty much, they're trying to get, these upcoming, baseball, upcoming baseball, players to sign with Brixton. And we kind of had that in this episode, but JR wanted to take point and wanted Damon to kind of go do his own thing because he didn't want, another person being like, it's like, he wanted to show everybody that, he is, on the same par as, Damon. Yeah. Not like, not like he want everybody to come in, to Brixton, be like, let's hang out with Damon Sims. Let's be with Damon Sims. He wanted to kind of lead point on this, be like, I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to be kind of like us to be on the same level for once. Not everybody wanting to come see you and stuff like that. It makes me, kind of feel like, I'm kind of in the back seat while you have all the stardom and you're doing all this. I thought that was dumb in my personal opinion. I was like, this is out of nowhere for JR to make him act like this. I thought it was messed up when he didn't tell Damon that his KEK brothers wanted him to join. I thought that was messed up. I think he should have let Damon have his own decision on whether whether he was going to join or not. I did think it was messed up that he didn't tell him, because Damon is looking for a brotherhood just as much as JR is looking for a to be, to be with a brotherhood. And I think it's messed up that JR gets to have that, but Damon can't have that. I thought that was messed up. I was like, I hated how also the new kid was kind of like trying to make excuses for the way JR was acting. Jerry? Yeah, Jerry was trying to make excuses for the way JR was acting. Like, like I'm, how old are you? Like how old is JR and how old are you? Like, is JR older? And he's like, yeah, JR is older. He's like, I can understand that because I'm the youngest too, and or what do you say? I'm the youngest too, and I always wanted to follow around my older brother or something. And so you're kind of like following JR around. Like you're following him to the KEK house when you kind of had that idea when he wanted nothing to do with you. That's why he didn't invite you, but you still came anyways because you want to follow him and want to be around him. And it's like, no, that's not it at all, bro. Like he wants to hang with his brother, kind of like how JR wanted to hang with Damon. So what, he can't, reciprocate that same feeling back, like as JR was feeling for Damon, he can't do the same thing. I thought that was stupid. I was like, wow. I was like, we're really kind of, off the rails here, where it's like, we had great writing a minute ago to like not great writing right now. I was like, why is JR acting like this? I wasn't fucking with it the entire time.
It's like JR is like the JJ of All American.
Honestly, right now, the way they're treating JJ, making JJ act the way I don't like, I kind of feel the same way for. I hope this doesn't. I think since we kind of got it, Damon kind of admitted to that. I guess for that, like, oh, what's his name, Jesse? Like Jesse was right, I feel like he was right about you want your own things, like you said, and what I mean, I should have my own things. Maybe I shouldn't join or whatever. But it's like, no, Jerry was wrong. I just think Jerry was wrong about the whole entire thing. Or Jerry, or was it Jesse? Jerry's the new kid. Jesse is the father. Okay, okay. But like I said, I just wasn't messing with it. I was like, Jerry, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not what Damon's. This isn't a whole like him being the little brother wanting to follow the older brother around. That's not what's going on, dude. But honestly,
I kind of think that.
You kind of think that?
Yeah.
That Damon just wants to follow JR around.
Yeah, because it's
I don't think that
Mason
at all.
Does with you.
No, I don't think that at all. I think it's he wants to find brotherhood too. Like he's looking for a place to find. Like, why can't he do that? Why can't he have a legacy? Kind of like how JR has a legacy. That's not fair to have him be like, oh, I'm not letting you do it because I want this to be my own thing. If anything, it's petty in my personal opinion. I think it's dumb. But anyways, I don't know. The real thing I really didn't like about this episode is what's his face that's making Thea take cortisone shots. Ron, the one dude that that Simone kissed on a New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
F that dude, because that really pisses me off that he's making Thea really have a chance of backtracking and getting like infections and stuff doing these shots. She already took 2. And, she went to, like, Damon saying, oh, like, there's other ways of me, other ways of me kind of, recovering fast. And I already thought, I was like, she's, like, because I didn't pick up on this, but, like, she recovered really fast to be able to play even in practice. I was like, how was she able to do that? I never noticed it until she said she already took 2 prior cortisone shots, like, in within 6 weeks. I was like, what the hell? I was like, and he's like, oh, it's not cheating. You have nothing to feel bad about. That's what what's his name again? Ron dude said. And I was like, no, bro. I was like, that's cheating. I said, it is. It's not good to be doing that. I was like, just because it's not illegal, you could say, it doesn't mean that what you're doing is right. That's not the natural way to heal. You know what I mean? Well, Damon and everybody's like, you need to take time to coach. And Damon, Thea's coach and Damon were like, you should take your time to heal. The right way to do this.
Thea's coach.
Exactly. At least I think that was the girl that was saying it to Thea. But like either way, I'm just not messing with that Josh dude, if that's his name or not.
Which who?
Huh?
His name is Ron.
Ron, whatever. Dude has a forgettable name. I was really starting to like that character too. I really thought that was gonna be Simone's new boyfriend until the whole, was it Lando and Simone shit's been going on. Which, speaking of Lando, you say it.
Oh, you can.
About Lando?
Yeah.
Lando is a snake. Lando literally filmed, freaking Damon and I'm pretty sure the rest of everybody else's practice on Brixton team to get back at, I guess, Damon before he transferred over to Brixton.
I hear that, like, I heard them say, and like in another scene that he did it while Damon was training at Hawkins.
Okay, whatever. I don't understand why. I guess because he got upset because Damon was joining that team, so he thought he would give it to Brixton, or I don't even know why he did what he did. Either way, I don't like Lando. I really don't. There's moments I'm like, okay, you seem cool, but I don't mess with Lando either. I just don't mess with that dude.
I don't have anything else to say, but I do want to talk about next week.
Oh yeah, you can. Well, I don't even know if it's all in next week's episode. I don't know if that promo is all for next week.
They said Monday.
Monday?
Yeah.
So next Monday we're getting another episode.
Yeah.
By the way, I guess we are off from. Yeah. So. Crazy shit's happening. Let's just put it at that.
Zach caught it before I just started wound it. Layla
is in the next episode.
Layla's at Brixton. She's all in Simone and
Keisha.
Yeah, like.
And Simone was like, "Oh shit!" Like,
I think they broke up because Jordan wanted to date Layla. That's why him and Simone broke up.
Well, yeah, that's why. It's exactly why.
But why would Layla go to?
I'm already saying it.
Go to the school where her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend goes.
I'm telling you this right now. I could see Layla joining that school, Bringston. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Why wouldn't she go to Los Angeles with?
I could see that happening.
And Jordan.
And I'm gonna be honest, that would be very interesting if that's what we're doing. And I could see her doing it because of the history.
Maybe she's visiting school.
One that too. One, I think she would join because of the history of Bringston, and that would appeal to Layla. Maybe she'd be like, I want to have a legacy too, and I feel like this is a good place for me to be. I could possibly see that, or maybe she's recruiting upcoming musicians. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe that's what she's doing and went there. I don't know. Because it makes no sense that she's there besides maybe recruiting or also her joining the school. Either way, I love it.
Because she only has one artist now, which is Patience.
This is Patience, exactly. So I'm very interested to see why she's at Bringston because there's really no reason to be there. Exactly. So that's very interesting to me.
I love Layla.
Yeah, same. And again, I'm just happy that Nico's out of the picture. I don't fuck with Nico, especially after Nate literally made a poem that that was, and she was inspired by Nico, and Nico left, and just because of him just being petty and jealous and an ass. So I don't really fuck with Nico at all. At all, because he's so rude to Nate.
I felt bad that Keisha wasn't there to help Nate with Theo and.
I'm glad that Thea and Simone came together. Like I said, I'm happy that they're mending the fences, but also
he's like, "Thank you for the knives away to help me."
Yeah, she was like that. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
She was like, "Thanks for that." Like, I love Nate.
Nate's great.
I love her.
But the thing that I really love though is that Nate wasn't gonna let Simone miss out on her going to the sorority meeting.
She's like. Nucky. She was like, I'm gonna make you a bad bitch in heels.
Which I was like, let's go. I was like, let's get it. So honestly though, I'm excited to see where we go going forward. I honestly, I don't know where we're gonna keep going, except I know there's gonna be drama. Also, I don't like the way, Simone was all up and angry about Damon telling Simone about what he heard about Lando. Pretty much saying, I knew he was bad news, you know what I mean? He's the one that leaked out my practice, I think, out at Hawkins because he was upset. He's the one that leaked it out. So, I'm not messing with that. I could see him doing something like that and him just being a snake and think that, no, that wouldn't get out. I could believe it. But also, I don't think this has anything to do with jealousy because he's with Thea. I hope that the writers aren't doing that because I would hate that shit if they make Damon that type of dude where he ends up after all this shit, all the stuff that went down, and all the stuff that, all the great moments that him and Thea have had would be for nothing because just for the writers to make it where Damon and Simone end up being together. I would hate that shit if they make Damon that typical dude. I'm really hoping that, this is all the fact that he just is looking out for Simone, how, Simone is giving Damon advice about him and Thea, and it's not, I don't like the way Simone is making it sound like, oh, you asked me for my opinion. It's like, no. A lot of the times you gave your opinion. It's like, don't bullshit here. So it's like, and you both are friends, so don't cut off the friendship because he's looking out for you. How you would look out for him. I think that's bullshit, if I'm being totally honest. So I really do hope that, Lando's bitch ass fesses up, because I could totally see him doing this. And I'm hoping that, Simone kind of apologizes to Damon because that was really cut. He's just looking out for her. But again, the writers might make it where he is a little bit jealous, which again, I think is totally dumb because I don't want him to be that dude. Because Thea's a great girl, and it would be so dumb after all the stuff we built up with them if they just throw that shit away just to have good television. I think that's shit. I'm gonna be honest. It's like, come on now. Like, can we get away from this stereotypical, shit that we do in TV shows where it's like, we build something great. And you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we have relationships with two other people, but these two other people like each other that are already in relationships, are used to like each other, but end up liking each other and hurt the two people that they're with in the process to get to finally be with each other. I hate shit like that. It's so reused and recycled. You know what I mean? In every show. I want to break that kind of stereotypical bullshit. Like, I want to break that. cycle. So I'm really hoping that, yeah, they had a thing for each other when Simone was dating Jordan, and and Damon and Simone were friends and stuff, and they had a thing for each other, and if things didn't work out where Jordan ended up being with Layla, blah 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 blah. We saw that coming. I just don't want it to be like this, where like she's with Landa, whatever, and then he has been with Thea, and I really find Thea and Damon to be a better pairing than him and Simone. So that's why I'm kind of hoping, please don't make it where it's like, they end up being together, Damon and Simone. I just won't, I won't like that. I just don't want it to be this thing that always happens in shows. Especially because I just really love what Thea and Damon have. Mm-hmm. I really do love it. Especially after Thea, like, sang that song to Damon. Dude, that was so, like, that's like a day one. Like, that's she's great. But
ready to go upstairs and get ready.
All right. Well, guys, I think that's gonna be it though. So I appreciate everybody that was in here. Thank you. If you are new here to the channel, subscribe to the channel, put those notifications, like this video. Also, guys, tomorrow is the last episode of Andor, so my review will be up. Or I guess my reaction will be up on Patreon. So if you're not, if you don't subscribe to my Patreon, go subscribe to Patreon, because my Andor episode will be up tomorrow. And then also, I think, we're getting the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, I think that's coming out Thursday. I'm not quite sure if I'll stay up on Wednesday to watch that and get it out for you guys, so it'll be out in the morning. But also, the next series that I am going to be watching and doing reactions to is Tales of the Jedi. So that's the next Patreon series I'm going to be reacting to after I'm done with Andor. So again, if you're interested in any of that, go subscribe to my Patreon.
It's Patreon.
Patreon, whatever. Some people say it both ways, whatever. I say it both ways. I'm gonna say like what Sean Spencer says. I've heard it both ways. So honestly though, just if you're interested in any of that, definitely go check that out. It's usually I think it's in my description of it's in the bio of my YouTube channel. So definitely go check out that link. But yeah, guys, that was a video. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll see you guys next time.